Change the following decimal into a percentage. So the question wants us to convert a decimal number into a percentage. Or I can also say that what the question wants us to do is to get rid of this decimal point. So we basically need to figure out a way to get rid of this decimal point and write this number as a percentage. So we'll get back to the solution in a while, but before we do so, I want to discuss the general rule that is applicable when we're dealing with decimal points and multiplying them specifically with numbers such as 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000. So basically, one thing that is common in all these numbers is that they are made up of 1 and a couple of zeros, or 10 for that matter, like 10 or 100 or 1000. Now the rule tells us that whenever we want to get rid of a decimal point in a decimal number, we multiply it by one of these numbers. And what happens to the decimal point is that it is going to move towards the right. So this is the decimal point right here in orange, and when we multiply it, it's going to move towards the right. Now the number of spaces that the decimal point is going to move depends on the number of zeros in the number we're multiplying the decimal number with. So if we're multiplying 1.50 by 10, let's suppose, the decimal point is going to move one place towards the right, since there's only 1 0 in 10, and the decimal is going to land in between 5 and 0. Similarly, if we multiply it by 100, the decimal is going to move another place forward. So if the decimal point is originally here and we multiply 1.50 by 100, the decimal is going to move two places. So this is 1 and this is the second place, and the decimal is going to land right after 0. So we would have 150.0, which technically is exactly the same thing as 150. And similarly for 1000 and 10,000 and so on. Now I hope that this is going to help you remember how to solve questions such as this. So let's get back to solving this question. 1.50, as we discussed, we need to get rid of this decimal, so we know that we have to multiply this number, and we need to multiply this number with a number that is going to help us move this decimal two places towards the right, so that we get rid of it, and that number is 100. So let's multiply 1.5 by 100. So the decimal moves two places towards the right, and we're left with 150. Referring back to the question, change the following decimal into percentage. So we need to write our answer using a percent sign. So we will add the percent sign here, which gives us 150%. So 1.50 when converted into a percentage is 150%. We're done.